Okay. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you can view me live from. My name is Peace Uwago Apainu, and I'm your host on the weekly regular Talk with Peace Live show. As our manner is, I'd like to welcome you all to today's edition. It promises to be a bumper edition, very exciting edition. I can see that already I have a couple of people joining me. I'd like you to do me a favor today. As soon as you join this live, please click on your share button. Just share. So cost you nothing to share. You don't even have to make a post. Just click on your share button because we have an interesting topic to discuss today, and I have an interesting guest to treat this topic. Okay, so I'd like you to quickly click on the share button. Let everyone who know you or who is in your contact receive our broadcast invitation, okay, to be a part of today's show. It's a beautiful Thursday here in the city of Lagos. I actually always call my days beautiful because I call it what I want it to be. You call your day what you want your day to be. Well, I call mine beautiful. It's beautiful, it's splendid, it's interesting, it's wonderful. It's all things bright and beautiful. It's a bright day. So how is it in your area? Where are you watching from? Would you like to drop a comment to tell me where you're viewing me live from? Tell me where you're watching from. Tell me your name. Let me know you're joining. You're a part of today's broadcast, so I could give you a shout out. I'd like you to drop a comment. I'd like to see your comments. I know some people are joining me, but I can't tell who they are. And the only way I can tell and then um, interact with you, engage with you, is if you do drop a comment so I could say hi, and then we have one or two interactions before we welcome our guest in the show. Thank you for sharing this video. Thank you, Ibro. Thank you for sharing. You've always been there, sharing every day you come online. I appreciate you so, so, so very much. Okay, so while I wait to see this video being shared, because yes, I do get notifications as you share, while I wait to see this video being shared to as many as you can and by as many as would be willing to. I'd like to say that today's topic is an interesting one. Last week we talked about how far can love go? Even though our guest had a little bit of a challenge joining us, or he still dropped one or two nuggets that we shared on the show. And it was a Valentine's edition because we wanted to talk about love and all it takes for love, to find expression and the different expressions of love that there are. And one thing we took away from last week's show was that love was sacrifice. If you're not willing to sacrifice, then you're not ready to go on the journey of love, my brother or my sister, as the case may be. So today we decided to take it a step further. You all know that Valentine's Day was on Monday. Hi, Adedayo Gatuso Odulaja. You're watching from Ibadan. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you. Mwah. These kisses are for you. Thank you so much. I do appreciate your joining in live today. Would you also do me a favor? Share the video. Just click on the share button so your contacts can also see us. Okay, thank you. And I'm sure you would enjoy today's session. I promise you will. Okay, so like I was saying, Monday was Valentine's Day. I think it's all over the world. I don't know where love is not being celebrated. Okay, so Monday was Valentine's Day, and there were different ways people expressed what they termed love. And for us as a group or as a media group, if you like to call us that, we decided to discuss it a little bit further, especially among couples, because we discovered that even though Valentine's Day came and went by, I personally have received messages in my inbox suggesting that this issue called love or love making is much more practiced among unmarried people, and the people that are married that are supposed to have had license, to fire away, have issues that they are dealing with that make it impossible for them to enjoy the core of lovemaking. So we decided to bring someone on the show to talk to us about the art of lovemaking beyond the act, because that's what most people are used to. Many married people just come on board, hey, oh yeah, answer me, you just do, you go your way. Nobody cares about whether the other person was satisfied. There's a whole lot that goes into it. So we thought today, let's discuss about the art, not just the act. Everybody knows the act. Enter, bounce, get out. and that's it. So let's talk about the art of lovemaking. That's why we decided to choose this topic today. And we'll be having a guest join us. She'll be joining us as soon as possible. And before she joins us, please go ahead and share the link to this video. Let's have people join in. If you can hear me, I'd like you to tell me if you can hear me loud and clear, so that I'll know I'm not just talking to the screen without. I hope my audio is loud and clear. If you can hear me, I'd like you to give me a thumbs up in the comment section. Give me a thumbs up. Tell me you can hear me. Tell me it's loud. Tell me it's clear. So that I'll know my audio is working perfectly, because I wouldn't want to be talking and my guests can't, access the information I'm passing across. Okay. So please do quickly share. In a few minutes, my guests will be joining me, and would carry this show. Like I always say, get the show on the road. Okay, so meanwhile, before my guest comes on and while you're sharing, I'd like you to also drop in the comment section, how was Valentine's for you? Please share. Ladies, gentlemen, thank you. That's coming from Emmanuel Akodari. He says he can hear me loud and clear. I appreciate that. Thank you so very much. You can see me from YouTube. That's an interesting one. Yay! Mrs. Gloria Ogechi, thank you so much. You can hear me loud and clear. I appreciate this. Thank you so very much for keeping it engaging and interactive. This is all I've always craved, to have my viewers interact with me on the show. It makes it more interesting. It makes it more lively. It makes it. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much, sis. That's coming from Ubone. Thank you so very much. Okay, so while I'm waiting for my guest to join me, I was asking earlier, how was Valentine's for you? How did you celebrate? Can somebody quickly share, what did you do differently from what you've always done? In this part of the world, and I think in some parts of the world, people say that the ladies get to receive the gifts while they give out singlets and boxers to the guys. So guys, did you receive singlets and boxers this year? If you receive something different, please share. What did your lady do differently? Ladies, what did your guys do differently for you? Let me hear you. Let me hear you in the comment section. I like that it's engaging already. And I have people watching from, thank you so much, Adedayo. I appreciate that. You can hear me loud and clear. Okay, so people watching from YouTube, this is so exciting. It makes me excited to know that you can join me from different platforms. And we're hoping to stream to other platforms as well, Instagram and what have you. But right now, we're working with what we have. And so far, it's been beautiful. Okay, so I'd like the guys to share with me. Did you get singlets and boxers this year? And ladies, what did your guys do differently? Did you do better than he has ever done? Or was it just a norm? I just like for you to share with me. I like to read from you while I wait for my guest to join in. I'm sure she'll be joining us very, very, very soon. Meanwhile, before she joins me, I'd like to also quickly say that my guest is a founder, convener, if you call it that, of Sex in Marriages on Instagram. So if you go over to Instagram, maybe after the show, or if you could toggle between two apps, you could quickly check Sex in Marriages on Instagram, and you find some of the things she has put up. I was introduced to her some time ago when somebody shared her post to me, and I went through and I was like, who is this person who is so daring to thread parts that most people would rather not, want to talk about? And I saw her pic and I was like, she looks so innocent. She looks so, okay, let me not use the word, but she looks, I'm like, how does she feel sharing this topic? Okay, thank you, Ibro. You can hear me loud and clear. I appreciate, thank you so much. So I know that my audio is sorted. Okay, so I decided when it was time to discuss this topic to quickly approach her and say, please come talk to us on the art of lovemaking. Most of us are novices, because what you think you know, by the time you start hearing, you'll be like, oh, really? And some of us are pros, but then it doesn't hurt to actually spice up what you know, right? Okay, so I'm waiting for somebody to share with me. Don't tell me there was no Valentine celebration around you. Did somebody light candles for you, take you on a candlelit dinner, cook you dinner, take you buy you chocolates, wine, set of lingeries? Of course, this show is for the 18 plus and 18 plus, 18 and above. So I'm not expecting no children to be on the show today, because it's going to be kind of spicy. But then that is the intention so that people can spice up their love lives, especially couples. I'm talking about couples in marriages, so that they can lead better lives. Like I said in my write up, God created this thing. So if you're thinking, oh, this girl is, it's a whole lot much more than we're going to be talking about today is happening out there in the world. And if we do not set the record straight, the wrong things will keep going on. Okay, so we like to give you the juicy information, like it's supposed to be, not like it's treated out there in the world. So I'd like you to share. Please share with me. Come on now. Who is willing to share? How was Valentine's in your location? Did you have a boo or a bae? Or did you not? Did you spend it all by yourself reading novels, sipping wine? Did you spend it cleaning? Just share. I just want to know, how did you spend the Valentine's evening? Did you have work from workplace that you had to get done? Did you give yourself a treat, take yourself out, cook yourself dinner? If there was no one to give you that treat, did you give it to yourself? Or did you just ignore and say, what's Valentine? There are people who have apathy towards some of these things you celebrate. They don't necessarily see it as something important. It's just another day. Okay, are you that kind? Please share. I'd like to read it out here. And I'd like to share with you. I'd like to, share with you. Here in my house, we had a kind of suya evening with drinks with the kids. Well, it was what we call romantic. Was it romantic for you as well? Let me hear about it. I want to read about it. Come on, share with me. Share with me. Let me hear what you have to say. I'm waiting. Nobody has shared anything yet. Is it that Valentine's 2022 just went by and there was nothing? There must have been something, and I'd like to hear or read about it. Come on, share with me. I'm waiting for my guest. It's about 1:15 p.m. She should have joined me right now. Um, I'm quickly give her a beep. If you just give me a second, I'll quickly give her a beep. Okay, so I'm back. Yeah, sorry about that breaking transmission. I just needed to be sure that my guest is not having challenges joining us because I do not want you to miss out on all she's going to be sharing today. Okay, so where were we? Somebody sharing yet? Nobody's sharing. What's going on? What is going on? Did you postpone Valentine till weekend? Because I know some people do that. Did you get a coupon, go see the movies? Did you postpone yours? Did you say, oh, okay, Valentine fell on a Monday and I'd rather have it this weekend? Did you plan a getaway? Are you planning a getaway for this weekend? Tomorrow is already Friday and it's looking good because I know most people would want to use the opportunity to express their love to their loved ones. And then most especially, I'd like to know what the ladies did for the guys this year. What did you do differently? What did you do differently? Did you do nothing? Are you guilty? Do you feel guilty? Do you feel like, well, I cooked him his favorite meal? I think I read somewhere online where so the lady said her mother, she asked her mother what she was going to be doing for her father for Valentine's, and she said that she was going to be turning semo and shaping it into a heart. Isn't that sweet? So daddy will be eating semo shaped into a heart for each pot, each morsel he cuts and puts in the soup. He's having a part of our heart, I guess. I don't know what that means, but you just have to explain it somehow. Yeah, thank you for the likes, thank you for the thumbs up. If you have not shared this link, come on now. Please share this video. Let more people come in and join in on the show. I can't wait to see more people share the link. Share, share, share. Thank you for everyone who shared, and I'm still waiting. Who's sharing with me? Who goes first? I've given you an idea of what my evening looked like on St. Valentine's Day. What did yours look like? Have you postponed? Talk to me. Come on. Let me read from someone. What did you do? Did you send the kids away that evening somewhere so you and who could have a good time? Did you take the whole family out? Did you get somebody to be seats while you? Okay, so my guest is here, and I'll be bringing her on in a bit. Hello, good afternoon, ma'am. Okay, I think she's still trying to set up. While she sets up, I'd still like to hear
Okay,
from
I
you.
can't hear you.
You
I can't
can
hear you
check
if you
your
can hear me.
audio.
I'm still trying to
Check
get
your
the
audio. I can hear
microphone
you loud
set
and
right.
clear.
You can hear me loud and clear, okay. But I can't hear you at all.
Uh-oh. Let's see.
What do I do?
Okay. How is it now? Is it better? Can you hear me better now?
Okay.
You
Okay.
can.
Yeah,
Amazing.
I
So
think
we are good to go. Okay. So
okay, I think
guys,
we're good to go.
okay, let me quickly introduce
Good, good
Omolola
afternoon.
Natural to us. Like I said, she's the founder of Sex in Marriages on Instagram. I think on Facebook too. Am I right? I think she's also a blogger. Writes on sex in marriages. Okay, so network is not going to be. Let me see if I can edit my settings from here. Okay. Okay, ma'am.
Okay, I can hear you clearly. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Okay, so we started
Just give
by
me a few minutes, please.
okay, no problem. Okay, so but let me quickly fill you in before you get settled, as you get settled rather. I started by asking people how they spent their Valentine's Day, and so far nobody has responded. I don't know if it's because they did not have any events on that day or people are shy to share. But I've actually read of a few, a couple online, where people have shared how, they took their better halves, so to speak, out. Some had dinner outings, some had, several stuff. Some gave gifts of several kinds. Okay, so let's ask you, how was your Valentine's evening like? Or day? Let's say Valentine's Day. Don't tell me you're thinking about it. It was just a few days ago.
Now I'm thinking of which part I want to share with you. That's what I was
Okay,
actually
okay,
thinking
share
about.
the part that is PG-13.
Okay, well, Valentine's Day basically was a work day for
Oh
me.
yeah, yeah.
It was a
Obviously.
work day. Okay, because I
Yeah.
remember being on the queue in the petrol station. I'm like, oh
Oh
my god, this
wow.
is not what I want to do today. Okay,
Oh
so basically
wow.
that was what happened on Valentine's Day. My husband was not around, so it was work
Okay.
day basically.
Yeah. But he came home, didn't he?
No, 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 no. He
Okay,
wasn't supposed to be
fine.
home that day, so he wasn't
Okay.
around.
Okay, fine. So Valentine has been postponed in your house, obviously.
Yes,
So
yes. So.
okay, so because of time, we've already used 22 minutes into our 1 hour. We'll just dive straight
Okay.
into the topic for today. why is it important to discuss love making? Why is it
Why
important
is
to
it why is it important to discuss lovemaking now? Good afternoon, everyone listening to us right now.
discuss?
Okay, now when we talk about lovemaking and when we talk about discussion inside marriage, you cannot take away the place of communication in marriage. Now
All
we need
right.
to understand that the man and the woman is different. That is the first thing. The man and the woman is different. Now a lot of people come into marriage or go into marriage with the expectation that they are getting married to somebody like them. So a woman still feels she's getting married to someone who thinks and behaves like a woman. The man
Okay.
feels the same. But the truth is, we are two totally different people. So we need
Yeah.
to understand it from that aspect first. So the way I think as a woman is different from the way a man would think. So I
Right.
could say one thing and it's interpreted another way, not because of the way I said it, but because the
Mm,
person I'm saying it to is a man.
mm,
And if I'm saying it to you as a woman, you would also interpret it another way. The same thing, the same tonation, the same facial expression. And this also comes to the place of lovemaking. So in lovemaking, a man could assume it is what he wants that the woman wants. And a woman could also assume that. And that is where discussion should come in the place of lovemaking. So it is important that first, as a wife, I discover myself. I understand my body.
okay.
As a husband, he discovers himself, he understands his body. That's the first thing because what I don't understand, I cannot communicate to the next person.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
understand that some people expect their spouse to come and do all that discovery. It doesn't work that way most time. You expect him to start doing trial by error, or you start complaining he's not performing well, she's not performing well, she's not giving me what I want. You should be able to tell that's why you're married. It means you should be open to each other. You should be able to discuss anything. So you should be able to tell your spouse, oh, I love you when you touch me here. I love the way I feel when you touch me in this particular place, or the pressure when you put this particular pressure. Let's take for example breast sucking. For some women, they just like the breast to be nibbled on. For some people, okay, bite me a bit. I want to feel the bite. So you have to be able to communicate. That's where the place of communication, the place of talking come in play. Is very important in lovemaking.
Wow. Amazing. So it's important to discuss love making because both of you are different. So
Different, totally
so
different.
different, so right, so that you'll be able to convey what you want to the other
Exactly.
party. Because when you do,
Exactly.
frustration sets in. You discover that
Every time. Every time.
yeah,
And
okay,
you will soon start getting tired of sex. You start getting tired of lovemaking. And that's where you begin to hear, oh, my wife is always giving me excuse. I'm tired when it's time for sex. She will. Because once you don't enjoy sex, the other option is that you begin to feel used. You begin to
right,
feel what's the use of it? I'm just being used. It's just using me to get his release. In fact, even the man, once you don't enjoy sex, it's your body language communicates it to him, and he's not eager. He's not eager to come into you.
okay, right, okay, amazing. Okay, now you talked about a woman discovering her body so that she'll be able
Yeah.
to convey the information she has found out about herself to her spouse. Coming from a background where we were so, churchy, on again, that you were not willing to, you were, in fact, the most you did with your body was bathe it, cream it, and cover it. So, how would you have been able to discover your body to now be able to
Okay.
convey information?
Yeah, I understand that question. In fact, aside from the most you do with your body is you cover it, you also hear things like touching yourself is a sin drummed into your ear over and over and over. I keep
Yeah,
telling people there are a lot of myths, there are a lot of wrong information that have been passed by generation from the past to
yeah,
us. And we must be careful, number one, to stop it in this generation and not to pass it to the next generation.
right.
When we're growing up, you hear things like, oh, when a man touch you, you become pregnant. Like, seriously, is it gone? Like different like different minds, how you begin to feel, is it, how does this thing, when you actually sit down and you think about it, you realize that these things are wrong. It's
Okay,
majorly a method to scare you away from, going into sexual acts. So now that brings me back to what we started from, touching your body. Your body is your body. Some people find it so hard. They've been so indoctrinated into do not touch your body is a sin, that they cannot even wash their vagina properly. To wash your vagina, you have to touch yourself. You have to dip your hand, you have to separate your labia, move, rinse, put water, rinse the middle, put your hand inside. But because I should not touch my body, and so they find it hard to even watch properly. So what I would say is that we have been brought up with a lot of wrong teaching about sex. You hear a woman should not make the first move. It makes you are married, and then you should not make the first move in sex. Like, I don't know where those doctrines came from. All those things are things that are start thinking about that you're wrong or something, or that you have become promiscuous. These things are, in fact, doctrines that will make you bury your sexual parts. So these things, number one, we should realize that it is not right. Number two,
Okay.
your body is your body. You should explore your body, understand. That's one method. Number two method, you might not even be able to explore all your body. For example, I
Right.
mentioned the way I love to be sucked will be different from the way somebody else loves to be sucked. I might not even be able to discover that because my mouth will not be able to touch my lip, I won't be able to suck myself. So
Right.
what I
Yeah.
need to do is that I need to be conscious. When my husband is doing the sucking, I need to be conscious. What method does he use that gives me more sensation?
Yeah.
And I don't just keep that discovery to myself. I tell him, baby, I love the way you just sucked me. So he knows that, oh, next time this is the way I need to do it. Oh, when you're sucking me, I need you to hold this other part. Sometimes, so it's two ways. Discover it by yourself.
Yeah.
Sometimes you discover it by being conscious when you're in the
Mhm.
act, being
Yeah.
conscious of the sensations that you get, so that, and you don't just keep that to yourself, you give it as a feedback to your
Yeah.
spouse, so that he or she can improve on it and make that sex life, love making, better.
Amazing, amazing. Honestly, this is as real as it can get. Okay, so I think I fall into the second category that obviously did not understand my, but I just knew growing up that I had sometimes you get feelings, you bind it in the name of Jesus because it's not yet time for it to be expressed. Okay, so you're waiting to get married, and then when you now get married, you have this feeling, you're like, God, are these feelings godly at all? Should I allow them to fly? And I know there are a whole lot of spiritual sisters out there who, even in
Yeah,
marriage, who believe that there are things that they should not even think about. Don't do this one
yeah,
to do. Because I don't think, and of course, if you go online, discover that there are so many diverse
yeah,
information where people feel this is what you should, even though you're married. People still tell people what
mm,
they should do in their marriages. Don't do this one. Oh.
exactly.
Don't do, especially with all the mommy big old stories out there. Let's not go there because I'm not going to talk about your marriage. Okay, so but I want us to go there. I want us to talk about things that should be acceptable because we're not talking about the act alone today. We're talking about the art. And to get to the act of lovemaking, I believe I'm here to learn as well. There's a process before you get into the act that makes the act worthwhile. And that's what I call the art. I don't know if that's what's acceptable, generally
Okay,
acceptable as the art of lovemaking. So, what are the
okay,
processes that a couple must take? What are the steps that they must take to make sure that the act itself is as explosive, as interesting, as sensual,
okay.
as beautiful, as they would want it?
Okay, because we started from the place of what we're taught in the church and all that. So let me
Yeah.
start from that place. Let me start from that angle too. First,
Okay.
as a married person, I need you to understand that what God has given you a particular license that nobody has the right to. And the
Yeah.
license is that the man's body belongs to the woman,
Yeah.
and the woman's body belongs to the man.
Yeah.
Now, it says that none of you should deny each other except
Right.
it be by mutual consent. Now, when
Right.
you understand this passage very well, it helps a lot of couples solve a lot of problems. You
Yeah.
begin to have questions like, oh, should we have oral sex in our marriage? Or should we
Yeah.
be involved in anal sex? Or should we be? Now, what I usually tell people is I take them back to that passage. Your body is his body is yours. As long
Wow.
as you have both agreed that this is what you want, it is right for you.
Yeah.
Now, the
Okay.
fact that it is right for you as a couple does not mean it is right for another couple.
Okay.
Remember the basis. The basis is as long as you have both agreed that this is what you want. Oh, probably
Yeah.
my husband even wants it and I don't want it. Okay, I need
Mm.
to understand first that what it's not a sin that he wants it. Then I need
Yeah.
to understand that, oh, I can be open to this. I can be open to learning. And that's the beauty about the art of sex. There are different things
Mm.
to learn. You know, some people tell me sex, you teach sex. Like, what is there to learn in sex? I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So I ask them few questions and then they flop. And I say, you see, you need to learn. You
Okay.
need to learn. Because a lot of us, for example, a lot of men believe that sex is just, okay, just penetration and then you pour
Mm.
and that's all. Like,
Yeah.
no. So let me go back to that act you talked about. Now, first from the understanding that your
Mm-hmm.
body belongs to each other, it's not about me. So you know what makes sex interesting is
Yeah.
when you understand that part, you're going into that act of love making with the
Yeah.
intention to satisfy the other person. So I'm
Right.
having sex with my husband with the sole intention that I want to satisfy him. And he's
Okay.
having sex with me with the sole intention that he wants to satisfy me. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not about selfishness. So we are
Yeah.
both looking out for each other. We'll come out of the experience fulfilled, both of us.
Mm.
Because I didn't go
Right.
in for me, he didn't go in for him. I hope that's
Mm-hmm.
clear. So that's
Yeah.
number one. Now, number two, love making starts from the brain. A lot of people abandon that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you'll be amazed. Somebody will touch you, they won't feel anything. Another
Yeah.
person will touch you the same way, maybe just your shoulder, and you will feel this tingling, the
Yeah.
same touch. So
Yeah.
it's not about the touch really,
Okay.
it's about the individual involved. So
Mm-hmm.
immediately I like someone, everything the
Mm.
person does creates sensation in me that some
Right.
a lot of other people will do and I won't feel anything. So love
Yeah.
making starts from the brain. And that's why
Right.
when a woman is undergoing trauma, probably she has been hurt by her spouse, it
Yeah.
becomes hard to get her wet. When a man is undergoing a lot of stress, probably he just lost his job and all that, it can
Mm.
become hard to be get hard because all these things are a function of the
In the
brain.
head.
It's not
Yeah.
even about the touch, it's not about the you can suck, it's a
Yeah.
function. So it starts from the brain. So once
Right.
the brain has accepted the other person, the other
Mm.
things become easy.
Right.
Now, how do the brain register that, oh, this person is the person I'm in love with, this person is the person I'm satisfied with, and then it's able to communicate and the body is able to yield. There is
Mm-hmm.
something we call love language. I won't dwell on it. A lot of people know about love
Yeah.
languages, but
Yeah.
I've discovered that a lot of people don't know how to discover their spouse love language. If
True.
I love gifts, what I would do most time is that I would want to give my spouse gifts
True.
because that's what I love. But the
Yeah.
truth is, gifts could
May
probably
not
not be his
work.
love language. So what
True.
happens most time is that we speak our own love language to the other person, and it is
Spouse.
not
Yeah.
supposed to be so. So I'm not supposed
Mm.
to speak my love language to him because I like gift doesn't mean I should give him gifts. It's
Mm-hmm.
not his love language. His love language is probably attention. So he would not
Mm.
cherish that gift as much as he will cherish if I have given him attention. So we need
Right.
to understand that it starts from there.
Yeah.
So now understanding your spouse love language is just watch what your spouse does more to you. You would get to know what your
Mm.
spouse love language
Yeah.
is. So just replicate that thing. Oh, he pays attention to you often. Pay attention to him. That's what he actually wants. That's what makes him feel
Mm-hmm.
loved. So if you do that
Okay.
to your spouse, it makes the person readily available for sex, for love making, and present in the moment because you've been speaking love into that person's heart, into that person's mind
Yeah.
constantly or continuously. That's number one. So I said it starts from understanding that the Bible says your body belongs to each other. Number
Mm-hmm.
two, the next thing is your brain being in the consciousness that, oh, I am in love with this person. Now,
Right.
number three is understanding each other love language.
Okay.
Now, number four is the ability to prepare your spouse even when you're separate. You could get somebody ready for sex without even seeing the person. You could get
Mm.
somebody ready for sex without being around the person. Now
Mhm.
you're in at work and tonight you want sex. A lot of women don't like, oh, you just come home and you want sex. Like,
Yeah.
really? So they want to be
Okay.
prepared. And then you're
Yeah.
wondering, when did I get it? How many minutes do I have to prepare this person? So you could make use
Mm.
of, there are wordings, there are words you could send, there are things you could do. You could just send a picture to your spouse. You could type, you call something sexting. You could
Yeah.
send romantic words that even in your absence, your spouse is getting wet, your spouse is getting hot without seeing you. So you're already preparing the person's body. It becomes easy. It's just like, I want to make fried rice and I've
Yeah.
already diced all the
It's
ingredients. It
all
becomes
you.
so easy for
Mhm.
me to cook it. You
Yeah.
get. So these
Yeah.
are some of the process to follow in the act of love making. Before we now get into the romance, we need to, now that's another part where a man and a woman is different.
Mhm.
Most men, not all men, we have a lot of men that they don't have that patience for romance. They feel, oh, let me just go into this. And
I was going to
unfortunately,
ask that now.
unfortunately,
Okay.
most women, they achieve orgasm even in the place of romance before sex.
Mhm.
A
Mhm.
larger percent of women achieve orgasm outside sex.
Okay.
Romance, clitoral stimulation, and all that makes them
Yeah.
achieve orgasm out more than they will with the actual sex. But a lot of
Yeah.
men don't understand that. So the place of romance is also important for a woman and for
Yeah.
some men. For
Okay.
some men too.
Yeah. Amazing. Wow. It's you. In fact, you've shared so much more than I was expecting for us to share, but of course, we still have some time.
Wow.
So I'll be waiting for questions. So if you have any questions for Omolola Natural concerning sex and sexuality, please, I'd like you to drop your comments, your questions in the comment section. And if you feel that, oh, you want to be kept anonymous, you could send me a messaging box in my messenger, and I'm sure I'll get to still be able to read them up here. Okay, so she has actually shared a lot, and I'm sure she has covered a whole lot. But then
Mm,
let's still talk about this. You talked about preparing one before time, and usually I think it's more about the ladies than the guys, because the guys, like they say, just by seeing, they can see
hey,
somebody
good to
else
go.
already even
Yeah,
somebody
good
else
to
even,
go.
and they are already ready for their spouses, and sometimes
Yeah.
cases where the spouse is not available, you discover people who philander would definitely go out there and philander, and there's nothing anyone can
Mm.
do about it. So, but this act of getting one, this part of getting one ready, prepared for the act itself, is usually falls on the ladies. What can a lady herself do? Because sometimes, like you talked about, some men who are not romantic, you've been married to somebody for 10 years, it's not romantic, and you're kidding yourself today because it's not romantic. What can you do as a lady to get yourself ready, so that whenever, whatever, like I'm going to quickly
Yeah.
share this. It's sensitive, but then I'm going to share it because I like to be real on my show. Like when I first got married, never known, the act of love making, blah blah blah, and all that. It was difficult. It was difficult because I was like, I wasn't used to it. Sometimes I think I even felt irritated because of some experiences growing up. I had to speak with someone, and the person told me, like you said, it starts here. Tell yourself, I want this. Tell yourself,
Mm.
you want, try and be in the present,
Present.
and then tell yourself, remember that God created it for your pleasure, because the Bible says that all things that God created, He created for our pleasure.
Exactly.
Remember that this
Exactly.
is for your pleasure and you want to get it. So, I had to work on myself. I can't, and of course, my story may not work for everybody, but what do you think some ladies can do to get themselves ready so that, because of course sometimes when you begin to say no, 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 you turn down, you're tired, like they say, you push the men away, blah blah blah, and all that. And instead of a man to actually also help you, assist you to get to that point, he says, okay, you're pushing me away, so let me go outside. It
There are
happens.
plenty alternatives. That's what I wanted to say. Plenty
you know
alternatives.
so yeah,
And
so what
a
can
lot
you
of
do?
women make that mistake.
Yeah.
Some people even feel, oh, because I'm married to a pastor or chief imam or maybe religious person, feel, oh, this person cannot even do, so I can do anyhow. It's a
Yeah.
lie. It's a lie. So, number one, as a woman, is not romantic. You need to understand that, fine, you're already inside that marriage. You
Yeah.
already discovered the problem. Now, solution to a problem is not when two people are wrong. Solution to a
Mm.
problem is that one person sometimes needs to be the sacrifice. I'm just
Mm.
thinking of the story of Jesus when the people were saying, kill him. If Jesus was saying, hey, kill me, I'm walking away. All of us, we are doomed.
By trouble.
We are in trouble. So, one person
Honestly.
needs to be the sacrifice
Yeah.
sometimes in a relationship. I've had issue where even the one that was not wrong is the one that had to do the sacrifice just for it to work. And then it works out well. And then you're able to bring this person back. Now, what I would tell such human is this. Number one, you already know that this is the problem. Identifying a problem, you've already solved half of it. Now, number two, you know he's not romantic. So don't expect him to be romantic. But you
Yeah.
prepare yourself, be romantic for him. He wants sex. Don't deny him that sex, but don't
Yeah.
even give it to him as if you are giving it grudgingly. The number
Yeah.
one thing that interests a man is that excitement they see in you in the
Yeah.
place of sex. So bring that excitement into the place of sex. Number one, understand that you're sexy. As a woman, God has endowed us. No matter the size of your breast, no matter the size of your buttocks, you are sexy just the way you are. And so you
Right.
you, you flaunt it.
That's
He married
amazing.
you. He has seen
Yeah.
the way you are shaped before he married you. Flaunt it. Don't go tying wrappers. Don't go being unromantic yourself.
Right.
So while you're in the house with him, get all those gowns. All those gowns that you wear gown and then you are still totally transparent. Especially
Mm.
when the children are not. Be romantic
Yeah.
on your
Yeah.
own. Okay? Don't wait for him to send you those dirty text messages. Send it to him. He might not understand how to do it, but you consciously be the one pushing. One day he might not even get it right. You're continuously sending him dirty text messages, you're continuously turning him on. Maybe the first thing he will send you is even a nude picture of a man and woman because he doesn't even understand how to go about sexting and all that. But one day he would want to reciprocate, like, this woman is sending me this thing. Let me send her this one. She will be interested in this. He might get it wrong. So by the time he starts trying, even when he's getting it wrong, then it means he's becoming teachable. You'll be able to now tell him, oh, we can actually do this better. I actually love you when you touch me. And now, another thing is you're married to someone who is not romantic. Don't start by pointing out all his faults. You are not even
So,
romantic. You are not even. Start by hailing him. Just look for the things he does well. Maybe you love the way he fucks you at, or the way he does it slow. Commend him, hail him. Let it be as if he has done the best of the things. And then you tell him, but okay, for example, okay, you might not even love it totally because you're not feeling satisfied. But just
yeah.
tell him, oh, I love the way you always go to me into me slowly. And do you know if you add this while you're going to me, if you touch my breast, it makes me feel. You already told him one thing is doing well, and then you're
Yeah.
adding additional thing. Every
Yeah.
man wants to do, they want to do better, but they won't
Mm.
do better if you're starting from the place of condemnation. So
Mm.
number one is boost his ego. Let him know it's guy, you're making me feel like a woman. Every time you touch me, you just make me wet. Boost
Yeah.
his ego, and then from there start building. I don't expect the change immediately, but I assure you that as you continuously boost his ego, in fact that thing he's doing that you're not enjoying, moan, give him feedback like you're satisfied. So
Yeah.
from there you will begin to open him up to this. What will solve it is through the
Yeah.
discussion that we started with.
Yeah.
But he won't listen if you had not prepared the ground. That's men. So you have to boost his ego continuously. Then as you're doing that, you start shipping in what you want. And while you're shipping it in, do it yourself. You want romance, you want to be touched. Touch him in the place of love. Squeeze his buttocks while he's making love to you. Kiss him. Be the one to be the what's the word now? The first player of what you want. Be the first
Okay.
player, send him those romantic messages, make him come home to a sexy wife. Just be the pusher until you're able to get him to change.
Amazing. Okay, so I'll quickly ask this question because when I posted this information yesterday on my WhatsApp, I got so many reactions because people were like,
Mhm.
this area you're going to. But then we've discussed about sexual incompatibility before on the show. And
Okay.
yesterday, somebody asked the question, so can you please help me ask this question? It's right there in my WhatsApp. Ask your guests to discuss with us what someone should do. Of course, there was no specification, but they threw it out that way. If they have a spouse who is heavily endowed or very, smallly, how do I put it? Smallly,
Either he
someone
has a
who is
big
either
penis
heavily
or a
endowed
small
or
penis.
not exactly what
Okay.
should. So
I don't know why we don't like
having
calling things by their name.
okay,
And when God gave Adam the assignment, He gave everything name and He called them by their name.
it's still this background thing. God will help us. Okay, so if she
Okay.
had said, how do I do? How do I treat the scenario of someone who is heavily endowed? I would know. Okay, we're treating it, but she just put both ways. So how do we handle it so that obviously when she gets
Okay.
a listening, she'll be able to pick out what her own is and go with the
Okay.
information.
Now it's two ways. Number one, that question
Okay.
can be answered for both the man and the woman. Some
Okay.
men feel insecure when they have small penis, and
Okay.
some men feel on top of the world when they have big penis. The
Okay.
good news is that the big penis could be useless. The small penis could be more of a performer. And most time it's that way. Because a man with big penis, I have discovered in my years in this field, feels
Yeah.
he has it all. He doesn't need extra skill. And so he's going into a woman with that pride. And he has not worked on himself. He feels my big
Okay.
penis will satisfy her. But it is
Okay.
not the big penis that satisfies the woman, because most time it's not even the sex that makes her achieve orgasm. So he is not working on his skill. But the man with the small penis most time is insecure. And because he's
Okay.
insecure, he's trying to read, he's trying to learn what other things can I use to make up, cover up for this. And at the end of the day, he becomes a better lover on
Angel,
bed
right?
than the one with. I've discovered that. So I also, now that's number one. Now number two, big penis or small penis is not the problem. A lot of men that come to me, I want to have a longer penis. I try to tell them, having the longer penis is not a problem. This one you have, you can use it to achieve
How do
100% results and be perfect. Now we
right?
need to understand that it is not about the size.
Mm,
The only place the size comes, in fact, the big penis most time has more problem. Why? If you're a man with a big penis and your wife vagina, because vaginas have length,
yeah.
your wife's vagina is not one that the length is that can accommodate all of your penis. You
Mm,
have to be conscious when you're having sex. You cannot go all the way in except you want to enjoy. So it means you're having sex with a part of your penis out. You are conscious about an act you're supposed to abandon yourself to. So you're
yeah.
conscious of, okay, she too, she's conscious of, oh, it's paining me, oh, you have to go out a bit, oh, and
Mm,
all that. So it's it's not, having big or small is not always the major thing. Most time I tell people
actually
is
understanding and knowing how to
knowing how to use the size you
what you
have.
have.
For example,
Yeah.
it's not even only big or small penis we have. We have a lot of people with cupped penis. I
Okay.
don't know if you know that. Okay, so apart from the
Okay.
big or small, we have some that their penis are cuffed. Some are
Okay.
cuffed, right? Some they have cuffed penis. So you have to understand, which one do I have? Okay, how does it work best? What sex style? You cannot have a small penis and you want to be doing certain sex style, really. Okay, you
Right.
have to know what sex style fits this penis size I have. So that's why it's important to be open to, a lot of people don't understand that sex needs to be learned. So this is
Mm,
why it's important to be open to learning and acquiring knowledge and information, even in the place of love making.
wow.
Because that size, that shape, that it could be big and thin. It could be big and wide. As in penis comes in different shapes and sizes
Right.
and length and all that. So you need to understand the sex style that is right for that particular. That's the major thing. But if you don't
Right.
get the right sex style and you're just doing all the sex style because you're seeing all the sex style, you would
Mm,
not achieve maximum result every time. You would either end up frustrated or you end up frustrating your wife and all that. So that's what I would say basically about the size of penis.
okay. Okay. Let me quickly before we round up because I'm almost out of time. Like I was saying when I was talking with you, what we it's a 1 hour show, but usually by the time we look at the time, it's almost an hour, and we're like we still have a
Mhm.
whole lot of
Mhm.
results. But let me quickly ask this before we run out of time. Usually
Okay.
I've realized from conversations with friends, with other females, and some of the things I've had to read online, that it's a little bit more difficult for a woman to achieve orgasm. And a whole lot of times it can be frustrating, both for the woman, for
For a woman to achieve what? I didn't get that.
orgasm.
Can you hear me? Okay, okay, okay.
Yes, I can say it, yes.
Yeah.
So, what can a woman and her spouse or her partner do in this situation? Because sometimes, if the help is not coming from the other person, what can you do to get yourself to either prepare to the point that if it when the actual act happens, you get yourself there? Because it's a whole lot. I've learned personally that I think I discussed with my friends. I'm like, when I get there, usually I can take on the job of several people at the same time, and I won't feel like I'm working. This is me being
Yeah.
real. Okay, so
Yeah.
and I think I've also learned about some of the stuff that is released. You release is it
Yeah.
oxytocin or something like that?
Citizen
I
and all
think
that.
they release
Yeah.
those chemicals gives you joy, you're happy, you're energized, you're all that. Okay, so
Yeah.
how can we help? And I think I've read on some groups that I belong, when somebody is a woman especially is usually cranky, they say go and get some you need a
I
man.
was going to
Go
give
and
that example.
okay, exactly. So what can we do to help women to get to that point
Well,
where they,
okay. When you're talking about when you achieve orgasm, you're able to do the work of many people.
oh
I
yes,
just remember a scenario in my office when I was discussing with my colleagues. I don't know what led to the discussion, but I was telling them, I said, see, if you see somebody walk into the office, especially on a Monday morning, the person is overjoyed. That the person had the person had released. And then it
okay,
changes your mood. It makes
right,
you excited from inside. It
happy,
relaxes you. Now, but that said, I can say over 80% of women have never ever experienced what it feels like to orgasm. And that takes us back to that art of touching yourself. In fact, I'm not sure of discovering yourself. I'm not sure if you don't have a man that is romantic, a man that is patient. I'm not sure you would ever achieve orgasm if you don't discover how to yourself. So you need to understand what pressure you need to give to your clitoris. Most time, especially those that are not what's the word now, circumcised.
okay,
Most time they achieve orgasm through their clitoris.
okay,
Most women to achieve orgasm through vaginal penetration requires a man that can last longer than 2 minutes because it takes time. A continuous eating of the G spot or the A spot is what will get you there. And
yeah,
immediately the man breaks, probably he needs to achieve is not someone who can withdraw when he wants to come. You won't
yeah,
get there. So most
yeah,
time the best thing is that as a woman, you should have been clitorally stimulated, achieved orgasm even before the man penetrates. So that after he penetrates, if you will still achieve another orgasm after that, that will be number two, number three, number four, and all that. Okay, so it's always best that the woman comes first before the man. Number one. Now, how do you get to that stage as a woman? Especially when you have a man, okay, I'll take two. When you have a man who is willing to help get to that stage, and
yeah,
when you have a man who doesn't care, his own is let me just enter and then pour. Okay. Now, if you have a man who is willing to help, who is willing to get better, who is willing to assist, who is willing to make sure you achieve that, it is
yeah,
good. So what you need to do is explore because it takes a lot of women a long while. Like men, you can enter a vagina and come in 1 minute. It doesn't work that way for orgasm for women. So what you need to do is explore. Now, clitoris, a lot of people miss what the clitoris is. The clitoris is on top of the vagina opening. It's not the vagina opening. I've had a lot of people mix it up. It's that
okay,
small V. I don't know how else to really explain it on
it's
top
right,
of the vagina. So you need to understand that's your clitoris. If you still don't get it, you might just go and Google pictures for clitoris so that you understand which part of your vagina is your clitoris. Now, that's if you are not circumcised. If you are circumcised, forget the clitoris, it won't work for you most time. Okay. If you are not circumcised, that's the part I'm focusing on. Now this question is so divided. So it means I'm even supposed to address the one for the circumcised, uncircumcised. Let me see the ones I can handle today
okay,
concerning this question. Now, if you are not circumcised, the most women, I hope a large percentage are not. Okay, so you need to first discover where your clitoris is located. So after you have discovered where your clitoris is located, the next thing is that your finger, if you have a man that is not willing, or even I'll mix it up. If your man is willing, your finger, you can get a lubricant. Or we have different kind of lubricants. We have the oil-based, water-based, silicone. You can get any. You can use the water-based. You can use. In fact, if you don't want to go and buy lubricants, you can use what's it called? Shea butter, be shea butter. Which one is the right one?
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good one. So it's natural, so it won't cause any harm. So what you just need is your hand to be slippery, and then you move it on the clitoris. Move it on the clitoris. So just watch. You can move it round, or you go up and down on your clitoris. Up and down. Just continue the same motion and listen to your body. Now, sometimes that motion needs to be matched with the squeezing of your breast. Depends on where it's sensitive in your body. For some, it is the squeezing of the buttocks. For some, it is kissing. So you might need to. So for some, just that is enough. But sometimes you need to match it. So if you have a man that is sensitive, you could keep trying all this until you get. So aside the finger, you could move the tip of his penis on that clitoris. So you could go round, you could go up and down just on the clitoris. Just ensure that it is wet. Whatever you're using, finger or penis, is wet. So you keep going on that motion, and then you don't apply pressure. You're not pushing either the finger or the penis. You're just going. It's just like you pick feather and you're moving feather on your body. You know the way it itches
Yeah.
you. That method, just use that method continuously. Continuously. Now, what happens is this: something starts building up inside you. Starts building up. It's like what's it called? Like if you've been to the beach, when the wave is coming and then it's
Yeah.
coming slowly, slowly, and it keeps gathering. If something interrupts it, it goes all flat again. That's the problem with orgasm. So immediately the particular movement that is causing the sensation to build up in you is altered. You could go back to stage one. That's one problem with orgasm with women. Okay, so it's important that as long as you understand what triggers it, is it that straight? Is it straight and round? Is it straight and round? Just keep at that motion and keep at it, keep at it. And I've also discovered that making use of the tongue on that clitoris help a lot of people attain it faster. So you could use
Okay.
the tongue because of the soft. Now remember I said even the finger you shouldn't put pressure. Just
Yeah.
now the tongue naturally has that feathery feeling. So using the tongue either round, go in, up down on that clitoris keeps building. And if you do it well, I tell men, if you do it well, you see even the clitoris begin to swell, it shoots out. It's no longer hidden because clitoris is
Yeah.
majorly like a small penis. So it comes out, you're able to see it well. If it's something you're using your tongue, you can even grab it with your lips and suck. It takes the woman to another level. And then it begins to boil and burst. Now, if you cannot attain it yourself with your finger, you don't have a man that could, you have the option of sex toys.
Yeah. I was going to ask that question.
Yeah, you have the
Okay.
option of I always like external things to be the last resort,
Okay.
because eventually in one sex life it's good that you're able to have attained a sync with your spouse where you can get to any stage you want to sexually automatically. Like, so if I want to achieve orgasm, do I have to go and be looking for the sex toy every time? Okay, so those things I always
So
like
now,
it to be a
now that you've
secondary.
mentioned it, sorry to cut in. Now that you've mentioned it, please also address the concerns of our Christian brothers who will come after me after this show and say you want somebody to put for sex toys on the show.
Thank God they see they will come after, they won't come
Let me
after
pray for
me.
the church not brothers because there are different and there are brethren. Okay, so
All
all
right.
right, so let's go.
I've had a lot of. I remember where I started from when it comes to
Yeah,
couples. It's something both of you see. If one
both of
person,
you.
both. If one person, if probably the wife likes it and the husband doesn't like it, and she had not been able to convince him to like it, then both of them should not use it.
Okay,
It has to be agreement. Whatsoever both of you shall agree on it
I'm
shall be
touching the.
settled in heaven. So it has to be, and because both of you have been made one, God honors your God honors your agreements because you are both, the twain shall become one flesh.
One.
So it
Yeah.
has to start from that. So if you are both agreed, oh, we are willing. See, some men, some women, it gets to a stage the vagina becomes so widened because of childbirth and because of maybe lack of Kegel exercise over time. It becomes so wide that the same husband penis that have been entering tightly enters and it feels like it's entering a hole. Sex toys help. We have what we call penis extension. The husband wears it on his penis and his penis become wider and is able to fill in his wife vagina easily. So there are a lot of things that sex toys will do. So even the husband, the fact that there's a sex toy does not mean as a woman I have to use it on myself. The man could be the one using it for the wife to achieve
Okay.
the result they want. For example, it doesn't last long. He could get the sex ring where he's still using it for his wife. So it makes his erection stay for longer and is able to satisfy his wife for longer. So it has
Okay.
to be number one, something you both agree on. It has to be something you have discovered that is not harmful. Like we have some, I mentioned sex ring now. I know a lot
Yeah.
of sex ring that had led to amputation and be removal of the penis. So you need
Oh
to
wow.
get the right thing. You don't go and get the iron one. You want to lose your penis. You know, there's the rubber one there. It's also, you have to understand the kind of sex toy you're getting. You have to understand that do we both agree. For
Yeah.
example, I'm not sure any woman will agree to, any wife will agree to her husband getting the sex doll. You know, we have the
Okay.
sex doll, the dolls, where
Okay.
man sleep,
Yeah.
have sex with the doll. Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah.
you have to both agree on which one. Why do we want it? I just
Yeah.
gave an example of, oh, this penis, I'm not feeling your vagina again. Get the penis extension. You know, I'm not able to get you to get achieve orgasm. Get the clitoris stimulator. You know, there are different sex toys for different purposes. So you could get both, agree, get it, just to make sure you are able to satisfy each other.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. I will not keep you any further. What the only thing I would ask right now because it's past 2 o'clock. And I said it was going to be an hour, but it's been interesting, it's been informative, it's been eye opening. I've actually learned
Thank
a
you.
lot myself, and I'm sure the people who are listening to us have actually picked up a lot. I would quickly say before we let our guests go, I've asked that if you had questions, you should drop them. I haven't seen any questions so far, but then if you do have any questions after now, I'd like you to still send them to me. I'll forward to our guest, and she would answer either in writing or maybe do a video that we'll post, on the group so that you can have your questions answered. If you'd like to be anonymous, send a private message. But thank you so very much, Omolola Natural. It's been an
Thank you for
amazing session
having
with you. Thank you for being so open.
Thank you
Thank you
for
for being
having
so
me.
The issue we usually have is that as Christians, we have these issues. The last time we had a session on sexual incompatibility, I had pastors coming in my inbox saying, well done, tell them, teach them. I wasn't the teacher, I brought the guest who taught. But it means that there's actually obviously a lacuna, so to speak, a space,
Yeah.
a vacuum needing to be filled in the
And
sexual
a lot
lives
of
of
people
most
don't know
Christians.
where to go to even
They
feel it.
don't know where to
They just
exactly,
feel, how do I tell someone? Who do I
exactly.
tell this kind of thing?
Exactly. People go on Google, see things, and then I know a couple of people are afraid to explore those things because it will look like, where did you go and learn that one from? Are you sure you've not
Hmm.
started doing, and stuff like that? There's this guilt tripping, of people and all that. But in your marriage, it is expected that you explore. You have a lifetime to do that. And so
Yeah.
you don't need to shortchange yourself. Of course, like Ecclesiastes talked about, remembering God in the days of your youth. Even in this situation, there are things you can do in the days of your youth. There are times when you'll be like, I can't, you
Nah.
can't try some things
Now,
anymore.
as
And
we grow older, there are certain sex types you won't be able to explore. Although you can have sex
yeah,
forever, 80, 90, you can have sex. But there are certain sex types you won't be able to explore. You won't be able to raise your leg to angle 90. You won't be able to shoot your buttocks back. Those are things you should not let go of now. Enjoy it. Like, you will thank your body. Another thing I forget to mention, some women feel when they are stressed, oh, I need to relax. See, next time you have a dick as a wife, don't think of paracetamol. I keep telling people it has always worked for me. Grab his penis, shook it inside your vagina yourself. It takes away headache, like automatically. When I'm stressed,
natural
when
healing.
I am very stressed, I don't need what I need, as in the way sex relax me. even when I'm very tired, extremely tired. I've not
Yeah.
seen any drug that could compare to that. So most time as women, because I discover on a large percentage basis, the problem is with women. We run away from sex. "Ah, I don't want it. I don't do this." We are shortchanging ourselves. You're
Right.
shortchanging yourself. So you have worked, you are tired. Don't
Yeah.
deny your body that, because it makes you look younger. See, when you say women that have sex often and one that doesn't, you will recognize them. You will recognize them. Their face will be different. You would hardly
Right.
see lines on their face. You would hardly see them stressed. And the one that have not had sex for a while, better don't look for her trouble, because she will transfer the frustration on you.
Yeah, great. And sometimes they don't even know what the problem is. They shall know that
They
they
don't.
are
You
risky,
shall
they
know
are,
that they are angry with
but they don't know
everything.
why they're angry. But then I don't know why I'm angry. I'm just angry. You know.
That's
Okay,
it.
thank you so very much. I think I remember once when I had a discussion, because sometimes people just come talk to me. I listen, so I
Okay.
make myself available to listen to people. So I think I've had a situation where somebody talked to me, and the reason the wife was always running away, like you've addressed the issue actually, was because he is heavily endowed. So I think she feels
Okay.
pain. So usually she does not want, because she feels if I go through this process, I'll be in pain. So please take it away, you know.
Yeah,
So I
probably he didn't get it, and he probably always wants to push all into her. So she will feel pain.
yes,
She will
yes,
feel pain.
yes. Okay, thank you very much. We're going to let you go. But if my viewers ask you to come back again, I'm going to reach out to you for a second time. And then
All right, no
probably we
problem.
might actually look at a situation where we can have a masterclass where people can be open, because it's important beyond all we're talking about. The healing takes place when action takes place after we've listened to some
Hmm.
people. So sometimes people might need a
Yeah,
one-on-one counseling, might need a masterclass where people can actually come, hear each one, one-on-one, both couples, especially, not
yeah,
just one person. Because today it's obvious that maybe we'll have a wife or a husband listening, and then after they've heard, they go home and they try to, and the other person was not there. So they don't have the information that this
yeah.
other person has. So we'll probably work on some things in the future to assist where possible. So thank you very much.
No
And thank
problem.
you to the kids who are on midterm who did not interrupt our discussion. Okay.
All right.
I'm
I
grateful.
will
Thank you so
extend the
very
thanks
much.
to them. Thank you for having me. Really
You're
appreciate it.
welcome. So please help me follow her on Instagram. Her Instagram handle is at Sex in Marriages on Instagram. I don't know the Facebook handle, but that's the
The
Instagram.
Facebook is that's the Facebook is marital sex coach.
Okay, marital sex coach. So please do follow her. You can also send your questions to her in her inbox, DM her, send her messages, and then of course I'm sure she has some paid sessions too.
Yes,
Do
we do
ensure to
one-on-one therapy.
avail yourself of them. But I'm sure if you tell her you're from Top with Peace, she'll give you discounts. Right?
No problem.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, ma'am.
All
Yeah.
right, you're welcome.
I'm going to
Thank
be
you.
saying
Have
bye
a
to
great
you
day.
for now. You too, ma'am. God bless you.
All right, Amen.
Okay, so that has been our show for today. And thankfully, it looks like God is interested in what we're talking about, because the network was amazing. It's not been like this in a very long time. So if you did not share this video when you joined, you still can share it now. Share it to your timeline, share it on your Facebook post. You don't need to make any post, just share. Let it go wide. Let it go wide. Let more people see this video and grasp from the things that she has shared. If it was beneficial to you, do share. And then when we also post it, you'll still be able to share the link to as many as you can. You can download and share with people, please do. You know that you're doing a whole lot of service to people out there. So thank you very much for being a part of our show. Next week, by God's grace, we'll be back with another topic. Like I told you, February, we're discussing building healthy relationships. And this is one way to build a healthy sexual relationship with your spouse, with your partner. Okay, so most of the things she has shared would not make any meaning to you if you do not go on and practice. You have your spouse there with you. So what are you waiting for? It's the weekend. Go on and put some of these things to action, to put them to practice, and then come back and share the testimony. Till I come your way again next week, peace of God, Abayam saying, be the reason someone has a huge smile on their face this period. Bye for now. Love you. Okay, so